All right, I want to follow up with the 6 a.m. Club on the Calvin Watkins article that came out yesterday at 9:20. RJ was able to get Calvin on from the Dallas Morning News, and he wrote a follow-up piece to that Tyler Dunne article saying that Mike McCarthy is getting fed up with Jerry Jones, and Calvin was basically saying, no, not necessarily. There are some issues, but it ain't that serious. It ain't that deep. And after going through the article, we'll recap some of the highlights for you. Maybe you heard Calvin in the pre-show at 5 or 5:15. I want to know how worried you are about McCarthy's football philosophies. Because just to recap, he is not mad, according to Calvin. He's not that mad at Jerry and Steven for the offseason because he just believes the Cowboys will be a better football team than last year. Bam. How much does that worry you? Number two, he was mad at the Joneses about Zeke. Not that they signed Zeke, that they didn't sign him during the draft process because he was terrified someone else was going to get him. Bam. How much does that worry you? McCarthy was irked that Joe Witt, his boy, was not promoted to defensive coordinator. I'm not worried about that. Y'all have relationships. Joe Witt goes to D.C. with Dan Quinn. And then McCarthy was irked by Micah Parsons not being at some of the workouts and dealing with today's player. But my two big main concerns to judge the macro of Mike McCarthy are the belief that they're definitely going to be better than last year after the way we've all reacted to what we think is a letdown, major letdown of an offseason. And then the Zeke thing. Or is that, are you letting that off the hook a little bit because of Zeke's value and importance in the locker room? That's my out for Mike on that.
Look, I mean, Zeke knows all the plays and all the protections, right? It's a plug and play type situation for him. He can't run. He's not a running back. He's not able to play at nearly at the level that he was in 2016 or 2019 or 2020. But, you know, it's as a running back, I guess in today's world, today's passing game, the job of the running back is not just to run. And there is a blocking element to it. Now, he did decline in blocking. Remember his last year here, he was graded quite poorly. But, I mean, he does, like, he could just step right in tomorrow and play the position for this team with this system, right? I mean, he knows all the protections. So, yeah, I'm not outraged by Zeke. They're not paying him a lot of money. They're paying him nothing. That's good. But they didn't address the position. I mean, let's be fair. They should have addressed it better in the draft. 4th round, 3rd round, whatever. But I'm not outraged by it. You know, is this team better than last year? No, they're not. I don't think they are. I don't think anybody really thinks they are. Now, if Dak is better than last year, which, by the way, if he's better than last year, he's the MVP.
Yeah.
But if he is better than last year, then they'll be as good as they were or better than last year. A lot of that's gonna boil down to it.
Do you think that Mike McCarthy actually believes that they're better, or that is
no? I think that's coach speak. Now you can be. Again, we've seen it. Like, you know, the 2007 Patriots did not win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
This
team could be 10-6, but make it to the second round.
Right.
Were they better?
Right.
Not necessarily.
The 06 Colts won the Super Bowl. They were not better than 05. 05 had Edgerrin James. 06 had Joseph Adai. They were not better than they were in 05, but they won the Super Bowl. Like, you don't have to be the better team. You've got to have a little bit of luck on your side, the easier route to get there. You get an upset here or there. All of a sudden, you look up, you're the 4 seed, and you got the home field advantage in the NFC Championship game, right? Certain things can happen to play in your favor.
All right, speaking of McCarthy, he was grouped with the other big dog. That would be Dak Prescott, Damian Woody on the Cowboys' future with those big two on Get Up.
Like, Dak Prescott don't have anything to worry about here. I mean, Schefter already referenced it, the fact that he has an opportunity to do something that's rare in the National Football League, to be an unrestricted free agent. I think if Dak goes out there and he doesn't play his best ball, he's still going to be a coveted quarterback in free agency because of the lack of quarterbacks in this league. Now, Mike McCarthy, on the other hand, let me tell you something. Man, that boy hotter than hot fish grease right now, as far as his seat is concerned. He needs to go out there. Dallas Cowboys got to at least get to an NFC Championship game. I mean, we've been talking about this thing now for years as far as the Dallas Cowboys are concerned. They've been to the divisional round. At least get to the championship game. Can you please do that?
So Woody's point is that McCarthy should be much more worried than Dak. I agree with that. I could see you and Bobby maybe disagreeing with your thoughts on McCarthy's next stop if they get taken out in round one again.
Well, look, I mean,
whether it's an automatic rehire throughout the league or not, Bobby says absolutely not.
I think it's absolutely. I mean, look, he won 12 games 3 years in a row. That coach is getting hired. Like, someone's going to hire him. And if they don't...
Bill Belichick didn't get hired.
Bill Belichick just won 4 games. And he's done nothing in 4 straight years, right? Since Tom
left. They made the
left.
playoffs in Mac's rookie year.
Yeah, they did make the playoffs that one time.
Went as far as the Cowboys went.
It's true. So they did make the playoffs that one time. But the handling of the roster was awful for Bill. The handling of the coordinator situation.
Yes.
There was a lot of problems. And apparently the players just didn't like him. And he's an era-specific coach in the wrong era. Mike is not that. I just don't see a scenario where Mike doesn't get a job again. That, to me, I think Bobby just hates Mike. Mike he's earned another job. He's got a Super Bowl, a ton of wins, and he won 36 games over a 3-year stretch. I don't know how he doesn't get a job.
What do you guys think? 11-6 first round exit.
11-6 would mean he has 47 wins in 4 years.
I know what that number looks like on paper, but there's going to be a lot of people who say you had a loaded football team. You had a loaded football team with a top 7 quarterback and Lawrence Taylor on the other side, as well as CeeDee Lamb.
All right, let me ask you this. I'll throw this back at you. Let's say it's 20.
For the record, just so I can put myself out there for receipts, I don't think it would be automatic that he gets hired next year if they get put out in round one. That's my guess.
Next year, he may have to take a year off like he did last time. Let's say this. Let's go back to 2018. The Chiefs fire Andy Reid.
Okay.
Is he getting a job immediately?
What was the lead up to that? What was their record? When did they get eliminated? Yeah, he probably gets a job. But Andy Reid, at that time, did he have a much higher...
So Andy Reid, at that time...
Did he have a much higher Q rating than McCarthy?
I mean, everybody has a higher Q rating than McCarthy.
Yes.
At that time, Andy Reid had gone 12 wins, 10 wins, 12 wins, 11 wins, 9 wins, 11 wins in the previous, 6 seasons. Lost the wild card, missed the playoffs, lost to the division, lost to the wild card, lost in the AFC Championship.
Yeah.
Like, he did a lot of the same, right? He had great seasons, and they never made it over the hump. And he didn't make it over the hump until he got Patrick Mahomes.
What do y'all think? Does McCarthy definitely get hired? Is Damian Woody right? 877-881-1053. You on Bobby's side? You on Choppy's side? Pepe, what are the Tolos saying? Yes or no?
214 says, look, if you can't perform in the playoffs, you gotta go. And that's kind of what I'm thinking too. It's like, it's a league that, you can have the regular season of a lifetime, but it's like, if you cannot win the playoffs like that, that's what gets you the next job. Now, will McCarthy get a job if he gets fired by the Cowboys? I'm leaning yes, but only slightly yes, just because of the resume.
But I think that he does get run this year from the Cowboys if they don't at least advance a little bit.
Look, every whatever makes sense, which that does make sense, we've been proven to be wrong multiple times with Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones doesn't move off of the coach, Jason Garrett, Mike McCarthy, exactly when the rest of the world thinks that he will or should.